a cabin small of hearth and quilt and cedar walls and a midwife's dance.
Hey everybody, it's Naomi again. Been a while since I've updated. That's sort of my thing, isn't it? But life gets crazy and I just roll with it, so I guess you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm so sorry. But I am back from Kansas. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience. I got to attend six births in total. I'm sorry, seven births in total. And I got to catch as primary for four of those. So let's go through and talk about those four for a few minutes. My first catch was for a woman named Kristen. She was a second-time mom, but first-time home birther, and she had a water birth. Baby was born probably about 10:30 in the evening, so it was really nice. All the lights were low and everything was really dark and dim, and baby just sort of slipped out into the water. It was very cool, very peaceful sort of way to start my first catch as a midwife. Second mom was a bit more exciting. Not a huge bunch, but a bit more exciting. She was an Amish mom, fourth time mom, and with her, she'd been having labor on and off, but because she lived about 3 hours away from us, when we got there, her labor had stalled out. So after talking to her, the midwife suggested the idea of rupturing her water. And she and her husband talked it over. They said yes, that they would like to do it. So I got to do my first artificial rupture of membranes. And that was sort of scary and exciting and nerve-wracking and just a whole bunch of different emotions all at the same time. And it was wonderful. Baby came right afternoon and just great day. The third birth was for a woman named Caitlin. And Caitlin was sort of a surprise. This was her third home birth, and we didn't expect to be able to catch her. This was something that neither myself nor my preceptor had any clue. We just put it out of our minds because with her second baby, she just birthed so quickly that the baby was born before the midwife had a chance to get there. In the 2 years since that birth, she moved 45 minutes further away from the midwife. Fast birther moves further away from the midwife. Not a good combination. So we had spent all of the prenatal visits talking to her husband and preparing him for the idea of, okay, you've done this once before, this time you know that you're going to be the one catching baby. It'll be so much easier, your mind will be ready for it. And that's what everyone was set for, was the fact that we just wouldn't be able to drive there quickly enough. Caitlin was going to birth at home, her husband was going to catch. So the call came in, Caitlin's in labor. Anita and I jumped in the car and headed out there, and that was the day that Anita found out her minivan could do 100. Shh, don't tell. Yeah, it's Iowa, no one cares what you do. But they do, but not really. I'm only half joking. So we got there and we grabbed the bags and we're running into the house full tilt, fully expecting to walk into the scene of mom holding a baby, and there's no baby. And we look at her and we look at her husband and we're like, where's the baby? What happened? She's like, oh, it hasn't come yet. My husband made me lay on the sofa and I really have to pee, but he said, no, I can't move until you guys got here, and I'm glad you got here because now I want to pee. And we're like, oh, okay. We were both very surprised. But she got up to go pee, and there was something that just sort of tickled at the back of my brain that said, follow her. And so I followed her into the bathroom, and she got there and just sort of looked at the toilet and went, oh, and dropped to her knees. And I said, Caitlin, I think we need to take your pants off now. It was a very tiny, teeny tiny bathroom. Like, the toilet is here, there's a pedestal sink right in front of it, and a bathtub right next to those. And the door is right on the other side. So just enough space to walk in, sit, stand up, wash your hands. It's like you don't even have to move. This is where she decides to birth. So I end up wrapped with my upper body wrapped around the pedestal sink and a hand here. I've got my legs like in the bathtub. And she's just leaning over the toilet, kneeling over the toilet, and one push, baby was out on the bathroom floor. So that was a sort of surprise birth. We weren't expecting to catch her. It was a very easy labor. I was so pleased that I was able to catch, and she was one of those clients who was pleased in the process of midwifery and really liked the fact that she was able to help me with my numbers and being one of my catches. The last woman that I got to deliver, her name was Erin, a wonderfully devout Catholic woman who, this was her second baby. Her mother had had home births. She had been a home birth baby. So it's really cool when you get to see second generation women who, for them, home birth is instinctual. This is just mom birthed at home. I know how this happens because I was there when my brothers and sisters were born. I know how to do this. Those women are wonderful. They just have so much self-confidence. It is inspiring to see them. With Erin, the one thing that we were afraid of is with her first baby, she tore very badly, a 4th degree tear. And so we were very concerned that she would tear again along that weakened tissue. And baby came out. It was a couple complications, but they ended up being good things. Baby had a nuchal cord. That nuchal is when something is around the neck, so the cord was wrapped around the neck, and baby couldn't come out quite as fast as it wanted to. That slowed it down because the cord is being pulled, air is being cut off. So that sort of helped in the idea of allowing for a gentle transition of the head through the perineum. She did tear, but not as much. It was only a 2nd degree tear. Since Anita wasn't as confident with her suturing skills, it's not something that she's called on to do often. She phoned a midwife friend of hers who had been a labor and delivery nurse for several years. She was able to come out and did the suturing. I got to watch. It was a wonderful learning experience for me. And it was a Sunday morning birth. And especially for couples who are very devotedly religious, there's just something so amazingly holy of the idea of birth happening at a time where normally we'd be going to church and praising God. And birth is the prime example. Like, there's nothing that you could do to praise God beyond the act of giving birth. That is just like the most perfect way to praise God ever. So I Sunday morning births, I absolutely adore them. That was my time in Kansas. I've been back home. I've been enjoying being back home, but I'm eager to get going again. There is one of the things that I'm doing towards that end is I'm hoping to attend the MANA conference in October. There's a link in the description box that will take you to my GoFundMe page. I'm hoping to raise $2,000 to cover all of the costs of attending that conference. And not just the conference, but one of the pre-conference days, they're doing a really in-depth suturing class. And I'm hoping to attend that as well, really be able to get those skills down. So if you wouldn't mind clicking that link, taking a couple seconds, donating $10, $20. If I have 100 people who donate $20, I'm covered. If you don't have money to donate, please consider just sharing the link, spreading it. So that's all for me for now. Oh, location. If you look around, you will see the mirror. Hi, mirror. You will see this is the office for the Mohawk Valley doulas. This is an office space that I'm sharing with my mom and another doula. So that's the best thing about being back, is being able to work with people who know me. Until next time, and I promise, I know I promised in the last video, but I promise this time it will be less than 6 months before I update. So, see ya!